Hi. Hello. How are you? Hello. Hi.
Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays. Today I am going to be doing video testing for the Moto G7, which is on the left here, and the iPhone 11 Pro, which is on the right. Sorry, those are birds or whistles or anyway. Today I'm going to be video testing not only the front camera, but the rear camera as well. We're also going to be testing audio, so be sure to be listening. Taking a look at, like, again, right now I'm recording with the front cameras, and the Moto G7 looks really dark. Like, the shadows aren't pulled up enough, so like I can barely see any kind of detail on my jacket, where it looks fine on the iPhone 11 Pro. And then I noticed if I kind of move around, the lighting on the Moto G7 kind of goes all over the place, as opposed to the iPhone 11 Pro where it stays consistent. So if I try to move forward, like if you look in the background, you'll see. So it switches too on the iPhone 11 Pro, but not as bad as the Moto G7. Anyway, I'm gonna flip the camera around now for the rear so we can check video stabilization out and quality and all that shit. Happy holidays, guys. Okay, so let me break this down in terms of the whole video recording experience, and let's start off with audio. And the reason I want to start off with audio is because that was the #1 thing that struck out to me, especially on the Moto G7. The audio recording, the quality there is really tinny. It was hard to hear, and when you compare it to the 11 Pro, the 11 Pro just sounds a lot fuller, a lot richer. I mean, it comes to the point where the G7 is almost unusable when it comes to audio. I mean, you can still hear it, but you're gonna have to pump up that volume to 100% to really hear everything clearly. Maybe not 100%, but you know what I mean. You're gonna have to crank that volume up. 2, there are obvious issues with exposure when it comes to video recording on the G7. In a lot of instances here, it just gets way too dark. You saw that when I was recording with the front cameras, but you could also see that when you record with the rear cameras. I did take some time to set up where I put myself in front of that camera, and again, if you just compare the G7 with the 11 Pro, the G7 just comes out a lot darker. The shadows are just way too dark there. It's not pulling everything in. I will say there was one thing that really got me, and it was when I took that shot of me. I was actually walking backwards when I was facing the sun, and did you see the size of the, oh my God, did you see the size of the sun on the G7 and the 11 Pro? It's so stupid that I'm laughing at this, but the G7 sun was so fucking huge. It was like, I think it was like 6 times the size of the, why am I laughing at the stupid sun? But you know what I'm saying, like it was just too much, it was too much. Okay, I'm composing myself. Really though, the video quality isn't bad. That fucking sun. The video quality isn't bad, you just have to, why is this shit? You just have to find the right lighting, that's all I'm trying to say. Just, you know, get the lighting right, but again, that's gonna be a hindrance, right? Because not all the time, especially when you're outside, you're not gonna get the perfect lighting. And I just don't think the G7, again, I'm talking about video recording, isn't gonna fully get that proper. And 3, in terms of video stabilization, the Moto G7 actually did a decent job. It's not as good, or it's not up to par as the 11 Pro, but it actually surprised me how well it did. For the most part, I was walking at a normal to maybe a notch or 2 faster pace, and I felt like the G7 really kept up there. Otherwise, overall, I feel like the G7 would be okay for video recording when you need to do it in a pinch, but if video recording is on your high priority here for a camera phone, then I might start looking elsewhere. And then remember, I am talking about video quality here. I'm not talking about photo quality. Photo quality on the G7 did an excellent job, and if you're curious and you haven't seen that video, I'll throw a card up so you guys can take a look. Now before I go, again, I want to thank Mike at Simply Your Device for letting me borrow his Moto G7. Feel free to give him a check on YouTube. Feel free to check him out on YouTube is what I meant to say. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. And again, if you guys enjoy these daily videos and you enjoyed this camera comparison and you want me to make more, please consider supporting me on Patreon. I will leave a link in the description as well, or you can just go to patreon.com/Jerome Ortega. Finally, check me out on Instagram at PhoneJerome and on Twitter at PhoneJerome. I hope you guys had a great holiday for those that celebrate it. If you didn't, I hope you guys had a great Wednesday, and I'll see you guys in the next one.